Hi dreamers and any other viewers who have clicked on this video because of the title. I can assure you straight from the word go that it isn't actually clickbait. I have a little bit of a story time, a bit of an update. Now, if you've been here for a wee while, you'll know that I've had a bit of a journey when it comes to women's health, and that I recently went through hysterectomy surgery after years of issues and problems with all that. If you want to know about that, you can go back and look at the previous vlogs. I did have my hysterectomy and I came home and everything was going fine. I was recovering quite well. As you saw in the last video, you saw me getting home and I showed everything. Of course I started vlogging and my daughter chaps the door. Anyways, so I explained in my last vlog what happened with my hysterectomy surgery. I was fine and I came home. Now, to give you a bit of a timeline, I had my hysterectomy on the 7th of February, which was a Friday, and I came home on the following Monday, so I was in hospital for like 3.5, 4 days. Now, for the rest of that week, the Tuesday, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was absolutely fine. I was recovering quite well, I was healing, I was resting, my outside wounds were absolutely fine, but I was starting to get into a lot of pain. And by the Saturday I was actually in quite a lot of extreme pain in my lower abdomen and in my back. In my back especially was excruciating. I felt like someone had a clamp on my spine and I just couldn't move. On the Saturday evening, 8 days after my hysterectomy, I ended up in A&E in Hermias Hospital. I was in excruciating pain and they were really busy, and for 6 hours they couldn't provide me with a bed, and I was crying and sobbing and just breaking my heart. I was in so much pain and I'm a tough cookie. I can deal with pain. I've dealt with years of pain with heavy periods and fibroids and cysts and surgery on my cervix and all these things, so I can cope with tummy pain. This was another level. It was worse than my cyst rupture back in December, and I knew something wasn't right. After 6 hours they finally got me a bed, and early on the Sunday morning, after some blood tests, they diagnosed me with having intra-abdominal sepsis. Now, due to my surgery, what had happened is everything down low had got quite swollen, and my bowels and my cervix and my bladder are very, very close to each other. Now, my cervix was removed during the hysterectomy surgery, but my bladder was attached to my cervix with adhesions, and they had to actually separate it during the surgery. So I had some trauma and inflammation to my bladder and my bowels, and what happened was that kind of sealed the gap basically below for any discharge and anything to come out after the surgery, which is normal, that happens. I hope this is understandable. I'm still trying to make sense of it myself. So everything was swollen shut and I couldn't go to the bathroom, and I thought that the pain I was in was because I couldn't have a bowel movement. I thought I was just full with gas and I was just blocked up, and I really thought that I had a blockage somewhere. Now, when they told me I had sepsis, what that meant was, because everything was sealed shut, a collection of pus and infected fluid had gathered in my abdomen and was laying on some of my organs, my bladder and my bowel, and was basically just festering and infecting and seeping into my blood, which became sepsis. Now, if you have never heard of sepsis before, I have heard of it, didn't really know how serious it was. Sepsis is a bigger killer than heart attack and stroke. If you develop sepsis, you have a space of about 12 hours before you die. It kills people. You die from sepsis. Most people will die from sepsis whilst they have an active sepsis infection, and often it's so quick that you don't even know that that's what's happening. And when they told me that, the fear and the shock that went through my body was just so unbelievably overwhelming. I didn't know what to do. I thought I was going to die, and you guys know me, I'm this happy, smiley, positive person and full of dreams, and that's what I always will be. And I was like that to my friends, my family, and I'm like, don't worry about me, you know, I'm fine, I feel fine, I'm not going to die, I'm still here, I'll be fine. Inside was a different story because I was so scared. And I'm not going to lie, that's the truth of it. You know, if you think you're going to die, it's a scary process. And, you know, I had faith in God, and I have my children and all that stuff. So, you know, I was going to try my best to not die. And then, so I was kept in hospital, and I was put on to IV antibiotics for a few days, and they were checking my numbers. There's two things that they look for. There's a thing called CRP, which is C-reactive protein in the blood, and there's the white blood cells, and if those numbers are high, that indicates that there is inflammation and infection, and it's usually indicative of sepsis. Now, they took me for a CT scan, and that showed that I did have a large collection, 10 centimetres by 3 centimetres, of infection in my left abdomen, and several abscesses of infection in my right abdomen. They told me that I might have to get drained and to remove it from my body so it didn't get into my blood. And during this time I was very sick, very ill, and I didn't vlog it. I didn't vlog one bit of it because I was so scared, and I did not want that to be the last footage that I had of me. Sorry, I'm alright. I'm okay, I'm just being silly. I knew I was going to do this. I've been putting off doing this update vlog because I knew it would get a bit much. But I'm alright because I'm fine and I'm here. Nobody needs to worry about me because I'm here. Praise God. I've got my babies. So everything's fine. Don't worry about me. Let's just calm it down for a second. So anyways, sorry, getting a bit overwhelmed. It's just a lot I'm still kind of dealing with. That I literally just got out of hospital yesterday. So anyways, Abby knew I was doing this. I did say to her that I was maybe going. Anyways, so I was in hospital and they sent me home. They sent me home on the Tuesday last week. They sent me home and they told me that oral antibiotics would be fine. They gave me 2 different types of antibiotics that they used to treat sepsis. And hysterectomy wise, I was fine. It was just the infection that needed to be taken care of. So I came home on the Tuesday night, and on the Wednesday I couldn't stop throwing up. I couldn't keep anything down, water, food, anything at all, even my medication. As soon as I took the medication I would throw it straight back up again, and I thought, something's not quite right here. And I ended up in an ambulance on Wednesday night, straight back to hospital, 30 miles away, Wishaw Hospital, in the middle of the night. And my daughter had to go to my mum's, my son was at his dad's, and they told me that it got worse and that they had to readjust my medication. They basically shouldn't have sent me home. I don't know why they thought that was a great idea. And I ended up in hospital from then until yesterday. I was on the IV antibiotic drips. They took me for another CT scan. They were going to drain me. What happened there was I had to lay on my front. They would put me into the CT scan machine. They would look to see where the infection was, and they would place markers on my backside, on my butt cheeks, and that would indicate exactly where the infection was. Then the doctor would go in with a tube through my butt cheek into my abdomen and leave it there, and with a bag it would drain out the pus and the fluid and all these things. Now on that particular day, which I think was Friday, I was piffing myself. I did not want to get this drain whatsoever. I was so anxious. Never mind the thought of dying, the thought of having this procedure done. I was so scared. And I lay there, and I remember I was laying on my front, and I was saying in my head, I'm like, I need to stop being so anxious. I'm going to pass out. What can I do? How can I just make this moment be better? And the only thing that I could think of was to say the Lord's Prayer in my head over and over. And I started saying, Heavenly Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, blah, blah, blah. I know that's not it, but just for time's sake. And after I finished saying that, the doctor came back into the room and he told me that the antibiotics were working, my body was responding well to the treatment, and that I didn't have to get the drain in because the infection was actually already getting smaller. Now, coincidentally, at this same time, I had managed to have my first bowel movement after like 10 days or something. No, it was much longer than that. It was like 15 days. And because of that, everything opened up, and the infection, the fluid, the pus was able to discharge. I know that's TMI, but that's what happened. And it was able to come out of my body of its own accord, and along with the antibiotics that I was on, my body started to heal and get better, and I didn't need the drain. So I was kept in hospital up until yesterday, which was Monday. So this is now like 2.5 weeks after my hysterectomy, and I've spent most of that time in hospital due to the complications of it. And I had sepsis, and it was really touch and go for a while. And there was seriously a moment where, not even for YouTube views or for effect, God's honest truth, I didn't know if I was going to make it, and that was like, woo, scary. But I did, and that's what I'm concentrating on. Yes, I'm going to have moments because it's overwhelming, and like nobody wants to think that they come that close, especially because you guys know what I've already been through. So it's like, I had crazy thoughts in my head. It's like, was I tempting fate? Is this because I tried to kill myself? And is this like revenge? Like all these crazy anxiety driven thoughts that I had, and it was just the worst 2 weeks of my life. But I'm over it now, and what the enemy meant for evil, God turns to good, and I'm going to use this to be more positive and to just appreciate life even more, and appreciate my family even more, and spend more time with the people that I love, and tell the people that I love them, even though I do that anyway. You guys are going to hear it so much more, and it's not fake. And I know people say this, you're happy smiley Debs on YouTube, that can't be real, you're not like that every day. No, I'm not like that every day, but I'm going to put on a bit of entertainment for you, otherwise why would you watch me? But at the same time, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to cry, and I'm going to tell you what hurts, and I'm going to tell you what's painful, and I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, I almost just died. Like, it blows my mind, but I'm fortunate, and I'm lucky, and I'm grateful, and I'm appreciative. And the only thing that I need to deal with now is just to get that little bit better. My blood count, my white blood cells are still a little bit high. I've still got infection in me, but it's not sepsis, it's just bacterial infection, where I have to take injections every day. I have to overhaul my diet. I was borderline diabetic, but all these things about nutrition and diet and well-being from here on now, I'm going to do in a separate vlog, and I'll speak about that, about the changes that I'm going to make. That include no more Rockstar, no more synthetic sugar, things like this. I will explain all that moving forward. But this video was basically just one take, pretty much no edit, to be honest with you, because there's nothing really to edit. This is exactly how it is right now, and I could take out the ums and the ahs and the silences, but you don't filter people in real life, do you? You wouldn't walk up to someone in the street and edit how they speak. So this is the truth, this is what you're getting. The title wasn't clickbait, you can thumbs it down, whatever, I don't care. this is what happened, and I wanted you guys to know, and I want people to know it's a very real thing that can happen after surgery. It's actually quite common and it's scary because I didn't have a clue about it. So you better believe that sepsis awareness is going to be something that I'm going to speak about in the future. Just another thing to add to my crusade of trying to make the world a better place. But yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to go now. You guys have listened to me for nearly 15 minutes. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for everybody's well wishes and prayers. I'm sorry I didn't keep in touch a lot of the time. It was rough. But I'm back now. I'm getting better. And here's to the future and exciting times ahead. And I'm never giving up. I'm still following my dreams. Bye.